Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 66 to 70 of chapter 2. Nasti buddhirayuktasya,
Nasti buddhirayuktasya,
nachayuktasya bhavana,
nachayuktasya bhavana,
nacha bhavayata shantihi,
nacha bhavayata shantihi,
ashantasya kutah sukham,
ashantasya kutah sukham,
indriyanam hi charatam,
indriyanam hi charatam,
yanmano vidhiyate,
yanmano vidhiyate,
tadasya harati prajñam,
tadasya harati prajñam,
vayurnavamivambhasi,
vayurnavamivambhasi,
tasmadhyasya mahabaho,
tasmadhyasya mahabaho,
nigrihitani sarvashah,
nigrihitani sarvashah,
indriyanindriyarthebhyah,
indriyanindriyarthebhyah,
tasya prajña pratisthita,
tasya prajña pratisthita,
ya nisha sarvabhutanam,
ya nisha sarvabhutanam,
tasyam jagarti sanyami,
tasyam jagarti sanyami,
yasyam jagrati bhutani,
yasyam jagrati bhutani,
sa nisha pashyato muneः,
sa nisha pashyato muneः,
आपूर्यमाणमचल pratishtham,
आपूर्यमाणमचल प्रतिष्ठम्,
samudramapah pravishanti yadvat,
समुद्रमापः प्रविशन्ति यद्वत्,
tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve.
Tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve.
Sashanti mapnoti na kamakami.
Sashanti mapnoti na kamakami.
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So last week we were seeing the few dimensions of this word Yukta. This word Yukta is such a powerful word. It can actually fix the goal which you need to achieve deep inside your personality. See, when you think of yourself, what is the image which comes to your mind? I don't mean the physical image, but the internal image. That is, what type of personality are you? Whatever image you have about yourself today is not what you are. It is what others have put inside you. And usually what everybody does is that knowingly or unknowingly they go on putting negative thoughts about yourself in your mind right from young age. See, when a parent is very, very concerned about the child, attached, now what happens is, out of that concern, the parent becomes very anxious. So they start saying, don't do this, don't do that, be careful, you should not be negative. Now, even though the intention may be to do good to the child, what happens is actually the negative aspects get installed in the deeper minds. Somebody would have told you, you are useless. You may have forgotten that incident at the conscious level, but all those thoughts, those concepts are all lying deep, deep within your mind. The mind has many, many layers. Somebody may have called you a stupid or a fool. Some person would have said, you are this, you are that. Somebody may have praised you also. But generally, the mind tends to absorb, the untrained mind tends to absorb the negative very fast. So if I were to ask you to close your eyes and imagine that you're 100% pure, you will not be able to do that. Now, when you read these verses, whether it's a Bhagavad Gita or any other scripture, using the yogic approach, when you penetrate, you will find that these great masters, they are also putting certain thoughts in your mind. They are also putting certain concepts, but those concepts are not negative in the sense they don't pull you down. Rather, the ideas which they are trying to install in your mind actually have the ability to lift you. Again, when I say positive thoughts, I don't mean something which is imaginary. You are essentially divine. You are the infinite. But today you are not in contact with the infinite. You have lost touch. You got disconnected. So whatever they are saying, they are actually not imagining something and saying that, but that is what you are essentially. So let's take this example of Yuktaka. I have given you 2 dimensions last week. I'll give you more subtler points about that, and then we'll move to the further dimensions. But before that, you need to understand basically the power behind these words. Because if you start using the yogic approach, and when you start penetrating into this word, I'm taking this as an example, Yuktaka. Now what will happen is slowly, you will start becoming that. In this verse, he says first Yuktaka, then Bhavana, and then he is talking of Shanti, peace, and then Sukham. When you read these words superficially or merely intellectually, now you will not become that. You will not be able to absorb the energy behind these concepts. So when we are using the yogic approach to penetrate, actually the idea is not to do a kind of a hair-splitting analysis about the word per se. That is the external research, But what we are trying to do is, by the process of penetrating this word, we are trying to absorb the energy of this word into our personality. So when he is talking of being united, being a yukta, what it means, what he is referring to is you only. You should become that. So in one of the lectures I did say, when it comes to this wisdom, learn to subjectify it. Don't objectify it. Objectification means you read a concept just for the concept's sake. Subjectifying it means you penetrate so deeply into that concept and absorb that energy. Actually, most of the time you are doing that with respect to negative things. You observe your own life. When you read a negative news, now let us say you read a news about some theft which has happened in your neighborhood. Now that is, you don't read it merely as a news item. A kind of a fear starts setting in deep within your mind. Because without control, you go deep into that and absorb that energy. Where you need to be objective, there you unnecessarily, you take it in, you subjectify it. Where you need to personalize and subjectify, there you are treating it as if it's outside you. When you watch a movie and you like the movie very much, you like the character very much, actually whatever emotions the person goes through in the movie, you also go through. You temporarily subjectify the whole experience. So when there is sorrow there, you also start crying. You identify with the character so much. And whatever is happening in the movie, whether it's violence or whether it is any other negative thing, all that starts affecting you after a while, because you go on absorbing the energy. Now, when it comes to positive things, there is a tendency for the mind to just read it and leave it at that. So in spirituality, we just reverse this process. Throughout the scriptures, you will find that these masters are constantly throwing such powerful positive thoughts in different ways. And the whole idea is that you should absorb the energy behind these ideas, behind these words. And the moment you absorb the energy of something, then that becomes a part of you. You know, these great yogis always say, don't waste your time criticizing others. It is not only a waste of time. Every time you criticize somebody, especially if you feel strongly negative about someone, what is happening is you're absorbing that energy into your system. It harms you so much. Every time you read a negative news, you're absorbing that energy. But this is happening automatically, without your control. In the yogic approach, we master this absorption of energy and we channelize it towards positive things in life. So when we are using this yogic approach to penetrate, don't be happy with all these points and say, oh, I got so many points today. It does not matter how many points you have received. How much of that have you absorbed? The more you are sincere, the more you will be able to absorb. See, for external analysis, you require that intelligence. But when it comes to yogic approach, what is required is that sincerity. A person who is very sincere, who is pure, whose intentions are pure, who is very humble, who attunes to the master, he receives maximum, he or she. A person may be very, very intelligent, but if he does not have that humility, he will not be able to receive the energy behind this. He may appreciate. He may say these points are so wonderful, but he will continue to live in the same way in which he was living earlier. This is a real life incident I'm saying. There was a student, a guru had a few students whom he was personally training, and one student was considered to be having a little less intelligence than others. Not by the guru, I'm saying by the co-students. Because when the guru used to explain the various concepts, he found it very difficult to understand. But he just used to sit there with full devotion, and he used to absorb the energy. So all the other students used to make fun of him, saying, "You're a duffer. Our Guru is so great, what amount of wisdom he has, and you're not able to understand anything." The Guru was aware of this, but he just kept quiet, because these people, they had not come to that level where they could absorb what he had to give in the real sense of the term. So every day, he used to come and make the arrangements for the teacher to sit and all that, to take the satsang. And then he used to just sit quietly. And his eyes used to be soaked with tears as the Guru was talking, whether it was about the infinite, whatever it is the Guru was giving, he was actually feeling it. Now, whenever he used to cry, that is after the lecture was over, the tears used to keep flowing, he just used to be seated for a while. All the other students used to laugh at him. The Guru, he's giving such positive things and he's crying here. Actually, it was not tears of sorrow, it was tears of joy. But he was not bothered. And he genuinely believed that he was unable to understand anything. He was so humble, so simple, so pure, that he thought that these people are great, that is, his co-students are great, and he used to serve them also. Now, what happened is, one day the time had come for the Guru to leave his body. So he had to choose his successor, because he was running an institution, an ashram, and he had to choose his successor. So he called all the students, they all came and they all sat. And they were all thinking he's going to choose one person amongst them. That is, apart from this boy. So the Guru sat in meditation. He said, "I'm going to choose now. God has shown me who has to be my successor, to whom I'm going to pass on all my energy, and then that person is going to lead." And he left out all the students and he called this boy and he placed his hand on his head and he said, "You are the person who's my successor." All the other students were stunned. Actually, their ego got hit very badly. Their egos, But this boy, even when the Guru said, "You are my successor," it was the same reaction. Tears were flowing from his eyes with the same devotion. In a very humble way, he accepted the position which the Guru had given him as the prasadam adhigacchati, we saw, as a gift. He didn't tell the Guru that, "No, I don't think I'm fit for this." Who is he to decide? He had surrendered completely to the Guru, that when the Guru said, "You are going to be my successor," he just accepted that very happily, peacefully. He neither expected that nor was he averse to that. He was so much attuned with what the Master was giving. So all the other students asked the Master, "Sir, how is it that you're choosing him? What does he know?" To which the Master said, "He has absorbed every little thing which I have given. Whereas you are all thinking you know so much, but actually you are not absorbed the energy behind whatever I am giving." So he has become a Supatra. Supatra means one who is qualified, a qualified vessel to receive all the Shakti which I have to give. If I give you all that Shakti, you will misuse that. It was a big eye-opener for all those students. Because for many, many years, they were under this illusion. They thought they knew better, they knew more. They thought they were the ones who had understood the message of the Guru, the different messages which the Guru had given. So this actually is, as I told you, this is a real life incident. So you need to reflect on this incident. This boy, he had what we call as the penetrative capacity. The receptivity was full. So the Guru was able to fill him with everything which he had. See, a true master is multi-dimensional. If you want mere kind words from him, he'll give you kind words, but he'll not give you guidance. It all depends on what you seek. If you want guidance, he'll give you guidance. When I say if you want, not merely verbally announcing, truly speaking, what is it that you want from within? If you want mere emotions, he'll give you emotions. If you just want to achieve some worldly goal, he may help you to achieve that. If you want mere intellectual knowledge, that also he'll give you. But for a person who wants to truly develop himself or herself, who wants to expand his or her consciousness and become one with the infinite, the Guru will give that energy. He is impartial. All these great masters, in an impartial way, they gave everything, but each one picks up whatever he or she wants. So all these students had picked up the intellectual messages and stopped with that. And this boy picked up the deepest aspect of the Guru, which was the energy. So as sadhaks, that should be your goal. Your goal should not be in merely understanding these concepts, but your goal should be in picking up the real wealth, which is the energy behind this wisdom. That is what takes time. In the Upanishad, he says, how do you reach the truth? Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yoga Davaihi means Shraddha. Shraddha means that, I'm not getting into that word Shraddha now because it's a very powerful word. Shraddha means that capacity to go till the end of something. Refusing to accept defeat. Just you somehow or other, you are willing to put all the efforts to do anything to reach the goal. That is called Shraddha. He says you should have Shraddha, you should have Bhakti. Bhakti means that devotion, that humility. And then he says Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyana Yoga, the meditativeness, the sadhana you need to do. With Shraddha and Bhakti, when you do the sadhana, anything is achievable. And when we talk of spiritual growth, it is definitely within your reach. Nobody is stopping you. So when you approach it this way, week after week, you will get more and more inspired. You cannot remain the same person. A person who attends these discourses with all humility and receives this wisdom cannot be the same person after a few weeks. You will automatically grow for the better. So what did we see last week? The first two dimensions of Yuktaka. At the spiritual level, Yuktaka means joined, being united, being joined. So what is it that you are disconnected from today? It is the infinite aspect within you. You are the infinite. Tat Tvam Asi means that thou art. The message of the Upanishads, the message of the Bhagavad Gita, the message of the scriptures is condensed in this one line, Tat Tvam Asi. That you are. Again, I'm telling you, to intellectually understand the meaning of that word will not take time. Just one discourse is enough. But to absorb the energy behind that line, that is called Mahavakya. Mahavakya means great statement, To understand the energy behind that Mahavakya, it's a lifetime sadhana you need to do. Great yogis, they became yogis. They became one with the infinite by doing sadhana. It is your birthright. You have that capacity. Once you decide to become a Yuktaka, no force on earth can stop you. There is a beautiful statement in the scriptures that 60,000 horses cannot pull you here, and 60,000 horses cannot pull you away from here. What is the message there? If you don't want to come, even 60,000 horses cannot bring you here. Even if you're forcefully brought, your mind will not be here. But once you have decided to do this, then 60,000 horses cannot pull you away from here. That kind of Shraddha you should develop. It starts off with a decision, which you make. I want to get connected with the infinite. The moment you take the decision, then doors will start opening up. The Master's words will start becoming alive to you. Otherwise, they are just merely words for you. As Shakespeare says, words, words, words. In a play, a character is reading a book. Someone is reading a book. And the other person comes and asks him, what is it that you're reading? He says, words, words, words. Very philosophical concept. So you need to decide, I want to get connected with the infinite. The moment you use your Ichha Shakti, your capacity to desire, to build this desire, then you will find that all the forces of this universe will start helping you. But the help may not be exactly the way you think it to be. Sometimes challenges will be thrown to you. You may think that is not help, but it is also help only, because those challenges will make you more tough. Because in order to absorb the energy of the infinite, you need to become very, very tough. A Yuktaka is a person who's extremely strong, who's very, very tough. Nothing can disturb that person, In order to reach that state, a lot of sadhana has to be done. So at the spiritual level, uniting with the infinite. Your daily sadhana, the yoga sankirtan, when you keep doing, that will help you to become a Yuktaka at the spiritual level. It will unite your consciousness with the infinite. When you're doing the yoga sankirtan sadhana, you should not try to unite with the infinite. You should just surrender. Allow those vibrations to enter you. It will clean you. So many thoughts will come. A lady has asked this question, when I do the sadhana, my mind wanders here and there. Your mind will wander because you've stored a lot of dirt inside. So all that will be brought out by the Shakti and they will all be released. But through that process, your consciousness is getting uplifted. Merely studying about the infinite is not enough. But practically, you need to get united. As a great saint said, he said, allow your body to function, allow your brain to work, allow your hands to write, allow your mouth to talk. All that let the body do, but let your consciousness be absorbed in the infinite. It's a very, very powerful sadhana. You can practice it to the extent you do your daily sadhana of yoga sankirtan. Every day in the morning when you sit all by yourself and expose yourself to the higher energy. I've made it very, very easy for you because you have your own lifestyle. So this version which has been given to you will blend with your lifestyle. Whichever part of the world you are in, whatever be your lifestyle, this will blend with your life. How we all got it was not so easily like this. We had to go in search of this. We had to give up everything and go and full-time search for this, searching for this. But your karmas are so good that you're receiving the tapas of these great masters in a silver platter. But now it is up to you to make use of it. So a person who does the sadhana on a daily basis will find that he or she will become a Yuktaka. Today you feel the presence of the body, you feel the presence of your emotions, you feel the presence of your thoughts. But you are not this body, you are not these emotions, you are not these thoughts. Beyond this physical body, beyond these emotions, beyond these thoughts, lies your real self, that infinite presence, that infinite supreme power is there within you. That is what you are. Any attempt when you make to get connected back to your source, that is called Yuktaka. That is, you're trying to become a Yuktaka. A Yuktaka is one who is always connected. Just as today you're connected to your body. Now anything you do, you continue remaining connected with your body. Because this question will come to your mind, Now if I have to remain connected with the infinite, then how can I operate in the world? Now, right now you are connected to your body. Then how are you operating in the world? You're talking over the phone sometimes, you're eating sometimes, you're watching a movie, you're doing some other work, you're feeling various emotions. But all this you're doing with the body consciousness. This is not interfering with your activities. Similarly, a yogi is one who also does the various activities in the world, but he does not do it with body consciousness. His consciousness is pegged on with the infinite. It comes to a person who sincerely does his or her sadhana. As I've always been telling you, there is no point in asking for the highest experience. You should deserve it by doing sadhana, by purifying yourself. The role of a guru, the work of a guru is not in giving you the experience. Even though sometimes it may be said the guru gives you the experience, actually his work is in purifying you, or rather helping you to purify yourself so that you can get that experience, because ultimately that experience is within you only. You're not going to experience something outside. So that is the spiritual dimension of this word Yuktaka, the spiritual level, being united with the infinite. As you advance in your sadhana, your attachment to the material layers, the body, the emotions and thoughts will start reducing, and you will start becoming centered. You will start identifying with the infinite aspect within you. It's a slow and gradual process. Others may recognize, may not recognize. That is not important here. See, when you are not truly established, when you are not a yukta, then you will try to prove to others. See, the moment you are trying to prove to others that you are spiritual, it means you are not spiritual. A man came to me and he said, "Sir, I'm doing a lot of sadhana. I'm attending all the Gita discourses every Sunday, and genuinely I'm able to see so many changes within me. But my wife, my children, they are unable to understand that. They are unable to recognize that. I keep telling them that I am not the same person anymore, but they are only laughing. They are not taking it seriously. So how to now convince them that I have grown spiritually?" This was his question. So I had to explain to him. It was difficult for him to accept it, but I had to tell the truth. Told him, the very fact that you want to convince somebody that you're spiritual, that thought itself has come about because you are not spiritual. A person who is spiritually developed, who has become a yukta, what is a necessity for him to get recognition of his spirituality? He may get it, he may not get it. Some of the greatest saints have left their bodies unknown. So the very thought of wanting to tell others that I am spiritual, I am a yukta, I am a yogi, that itself actually exhibits your ignorance. It took a while for him to understand what I was saying. And the day he understood that, he had to work on it actually. It took him a few months. The day he understood that and he dropped that desire that his wife and children should recognize him, he said a miracle happened. suddenly there was a change in them. They started looking up to him. They started recognizing his spirituality. He asked me, "Sir, when I wanted it, I didn't get it. But now I have grown above that, and they are saying we are able to see changes in you." That is what is life. So we are talking about a true connection from within, not what recognition the world gives you. And then the second dimension of Yuktaka at the intellectual level. It means arrangement of your thoughts. So I gave you a couple of sadhanas to be practiced. One is do everything in an organized way, and the second is that introspection before you go to sleep in the night. Remember, when you do the introspection, just running through your day, you should do it only for 2 or 3 minutes. If you sit and if you're doing it for half an hour, it means you're not doing introspection. You're just the mind is just wandering. So both these sadhanas you incorporate in your life. Everything which you do it in an organized way. There is a general tendency to be disorganized, especially people who claim to do creative work. They think they have to be disorganized. Being disorganized is being creative. Once a person came and met me, and he was very neat and clean shaven, and he looked so presentable, and he introduced himself as a scientist, and he was occupying a very key position in the government, some very subtle work. Among the scientific circle, he was very highly respected. See, his work was so subtle that he was not so famous as a scientist, but he was extremely brilliant. Generally, when we think of a scientist, we always think that a scientist means they should have hair which is unkempt, long hair which is unkempt. They should have a beard. They should not dress up properly. That's the image which a common person has. But this person was exactly the opposite. Same view only people have about yogis also. Yogi means they should, be unkempt and dirty. That is how people think. They should have long hair, beards and this, that. Otherwise, they think that person is not a yogi. That is all a false concept. If your thoughts are very well organized and arranged, automatically everything which you do will be very neat. When we go to the 12th chapter, 13th chapter, all these chapters, he'll be giving the various qualities of a bhakta, various qualities of a jnani. 2 qualities he gives, shuchihi and shaucham. Both mean being clean, being neat. Neatness not only with respect to your appearance, it is in everything which you do. You will be automatically very well organized when you are a Yuktaka at the intellectual level. But as a practice, you can start from there. Because if you try to be organized outside, automatically you need to organize your thoughts. So whether it is any work which you're doing, whether it is how you're keeping your room, how you keep your clothes, everything, try to bring a system, try to systematize. And as new things are added, you can change the system. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying once you fix a system for the rest of your life, you have to follow that. But you need to put that effort to organize things. creativity actually can express itself and achieve something only when you are organized. I know many people who have wonderful creative ideas, but they are not disciplined, they are not organized enough to materialize those things. See, when we see an achiever, a creative person, we only see one aspect, which is the creative aspect. But how did that person manifest it? How did that person ensure that that creativity got expressed? And how did he or she become an achiever? It is by being very well organized, whether it is a singer or whether it is a dancer. Just a mere talent is not enough. Being disciplined and organized is an essential element of success. So this is at the intellectual level. Another sadhana tip also I gave you. Whenever you have conversations, you just observe yourself. How your intellect has this tendency to jump from one thought to another. Now make your thought structured. Don't do anything in a haphazard way. Do things in a very neat and organized way. It's a beautiful sadhana to practice. When you cannot be organized outside, how can you be organized inside? When you cannot spot dirt outside, how can you spot the dirt inside your mind? See, the dirt outside is gross. That itself, if you're not able to spot, then how can you spot the subtle dirt inside you? So if you want to purify yourself, start from outside. The practice of it. When you do it consciously, it'll bring about the inner purification. If you do it mechanically, you will only become a kind of a fussy person, you know. That is not what I'm talking about. Some people, you know, there is an English word, it is called being a perfectionist. In a negative way, sometimes it is used, you know. Means they are very impractical. No, that is not what I'm talking about. So you need to do it in a very conscious way, with full awareness. Now the third dimension of Yuktaka. Yuktaka also means being absorbed, being intent on something. This is at the mental level. At the mental level of your personality, how do you practice being a Yuktaka? It is by being absorbed in anything which you do, the concentration. See, there is a general tendency to do things in a casual way. A master is one who is very, very clear and decisive, you know. Either he will say yes or no to something. If he says no, he'll say no fully. If he says yes, he will be in it fully. He will never do something in a half-hearted way. See, this dimension of Yuktaka is a beautiful dimension. It'll give you immense success. Actually, if you practice all this, you will become a very, very highly successful person. Of course, he is talking of much, much higher benefits here, but incidentally I'm saying. So whenever you perform any activity, you will find that your mind wants to wander here and there. It doesn't want to stay put at one place. That is why in the scriptures they have compared the mind to a monkey. A monkey is highly restless. It keeps on jumping from place to place, and even when you tie it up to a chair or something and say, now you need to sit here, the monkey will go on doing some action or other. It's so restless. That is the human mind. But when I say that is the human mind, I'm talking of an untrained mind. That is for a person who has not done any sadhana. But in spirituality, we train our minds to such an extent where any activity which you do it in a full way. You're completely absorbed in it. With full awareness. See, there are two ways of being absorbed. One way is getting involved and losing your awareness. That is not what he's talking about. That is not concentration. For example, a person who becomes a drug addict, all the time is thinking about drugs. Does it mean now he has become a Yuktaka? Actually, he is the opposite of Yuktaka. Boy and girl meet each other. They fall in love. 24 hours they are thinking about each other. Have they become now great yogis? No way. Their minds are going without their control. This dimension of Yuktaka, that is being absorbed in anything which you do, what it means is consciously, with that awareness, you are focusing. That is something which you can practice. You can practice this anywhere. When you're eating, focus on that eating and eat. Be absorbed in that with full awareness. Supposing you're reading something, again bring your full awareness. Right now you're listening. With full awareness, absorb these messages. When you're sitting here, don't keep thinking about what is happening in your office and all these things. When I say don't do that, see, your mind will have a tendency to do that. The moment you become aware of that, again bring back your mind. This is a practice. It is only through practice that you can perfect something. See, when you're trying to master your mind, you will go through many hardships. You will have to go on practicing it. Then only you can become perfect. This is not only with respect to mind mastery, it's with respect to mastering any art. The amount of practice which a person puts in before he or she can master one particular art is amazing. I was watching a magician do magic. It was amazing. He just took a coin and he closed his palm like this, and then he does this, he opens his palm, the coin is not there. And then he turns his palms and shows like this, the coin is not there. He turns it both ways, very fast, And then again he does this, again the coin comes. I asked him, how is he doing it? When he shows the coin here and then he closes, subtly he pushes the coin to this space behind the two fingers here. And it looks as if it's empty. And then I asked him, what about when you turn your hand like this? He quickly brings the coin this side when he turns it. I asked him, how long did it take for you to master this? He said, many months. He used to go on practicing whenever he got time. And he had come to that level where he was able to take the coin from these two fingers to the space between these two fingers, just like that, Many magicians, top magicians do this. They call it this sleight of hands. Even the cards and all, the way they shuffle, it's simply amazing. So when you look at what the person is doing, you say, oh, that person is specially talented. Of course that person is talented, but how much of effort that person has put in order to master that. So to master an external art itself, you need to put in so much of effort. Now when you talk of mastering your mind, it is not enough if you just try a few times and then you say it is not working. Consistent effort, that is why the word Shraddha. The Shraddha means your capacity to go to the end of it, that you should have. So it's a beautiful dimension. So the sadhana tip which I am giving you is whatever activity you're doing, now at the intellectual level, do it in an organized way. Now at the mental level, before you take up some action, you fix a goal, you plan and all that. When it comes to execution, now practice this as a part of your sadhana. That is, do that action fully. And when your mind wants to wander here and there, it wants to do something else before finishing this, gently bring back the mind. Again, focus here. Initially, you may find it a little difficult, but as you keep on practicing along with the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, you will find that your mind will start listening to you. A master is one who has mastered his mind. So if he says sit, the mind will sit. If he says stand, the mind will stand. Okay, now focus on this, the mind will focus. Okay, now withdraw, it will withdraw itself. That amount of mastery can be achieved. As I told you last week, this concept of multitasking is being misused by everyone. So first you practice this. When you're eating, eat. When you're sleeping, sleep. When you're working, work. It looks very simple when I put it this way, but it's the most difficult thing to do. The mind always wants to run somewhere else out of context. When you decide, okay, let me listen to Yoga Sankirtan, that is the time when the mind will want to do something else. And then when you go and do that, will your mind be there? No. Oh, I didn't do Yoga Sankirtan, I have to do my sadhana, the mind will be there. So, Yuktaka at the mental level is being absorbed, intent. So, one is the concentration. The other aspect of this being absorbed is at the emotional level. See, mind has very many aspects. So, when it comes to emotions, you need to have intense emotions. You need to have feelings to such an extent where they say that the heart melts, they say. That's a poetic way of putting it. Your emotions should be very, very intense. And when I say emotions here, I mean positive emotions. See, when we come to bhavana, after covering this Yuktaka, in the next line he's talking of bhavana, how important bhavana. Now I'll explain this further. But right now, just a general idea of it. The strength of a human being is in the emotions, the positive emotions which you can develop. Emotions actually have so much of power. The more you feel for something, you will be able to easily achieve that. What we call as passion, no? So if you are focusing on something, if you're concentrating on something in a very dry way, without any emotion, now you cannot get that. That action will not have any impact. Someone has sent a message saying that whenever we start this discourse, I start off by saying Hari Om and a very good day to all of you. Earlier I used to say good morning because we used to have these lectures in the morning live, I'm saying. But now, since this is online, different people are seeing it at their own time zones. So I've changed it to a very good day to all of you. Now what this lady has written is that when I hear those words, that fills me with so much of happiness. Yes, it will. Because when I'm saying Hari Om, I'm genuinely bowing down to that divinity which is present in each and every one of you. And when I'm saying I wish you to have a good day, it's coming from the heart, the emotions. Whenever you say something with full emotions, that will reach the other person. Supposing the same thing, is said, Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. It's with full focus only, it's been said, but there are no emotions behind it. That will not have any impact. So you should not only be very well organized, that we saw in the previous portion, previous dimension. You should be absorbed, intense when you're doing something, concentration, and you should also back it up with tremendous emotions. A person who does that will be successful in anything which he or she does. You should love your work. When can you love your actions? When you take it as a hobby, when you consider it as a hobby. See, the moment we use the word work, there is an element of drudgery in that, that's not the way it is meant. In the Bhagavad Gita, he says, act you must, work you must. It doesn't mean you should work, like a drudgery. You should take it up very, very happily. When you do sadhana every day, it should never be a drudgery. Oh, I have to get up in the morning early. Oh, I have to do exercises. I have to do kriyas. My God, I have to do yoga sankirtan. Oh, I have to become a Yuktaka. If that is your spirit, how will you achieve that? There is one man I know, he had this habit always, anything you say, oh, I have to do this, he'll go on sulking. So one day, I was talking about being cheerful. So he and his wife had attended that session. So when he went back, when he was driving the car, when they were driving back home, he got irritated about something. Somebody was not following the traffic rules, and so he got irritated. So immediately the wife just reminded him and said, don't you remember just now Yogishri said you should be cheerful? Immediately he said, yeah, I know, I have to be cheerful. She came and told this. She told me in front of him only. And he also started laughing. That was a good spirit, So even this quality of being cheerful, if you are feeling it as a drudgery, then how are you going to practice other things? So I told him, from this moment onwards, stop using this phrase, oh, I have to do that. So bring those emotions. The more passionate you are about whatever you're doing, the more successful you will be. Your relationships will become wonderful. You will start spending quality time with your family members and friends and everyone. Or everyone will start loving your company. A person who is dry will not be able to inspire others. So these are the two meanings of being absorbed, intent on something. One is the concentration and the other is the emotions behind it. Both these are a part of this dimension. This is at the mental level. Then, the next dimension of Yuktaka is being filled. Yuktaka means being filled with something. Whenever something is being filled, then we say it is in a state of Yuktaka. So this is at the pranic level. Pranic level means at the level of life force energy. So just as you have you have the physical body, you have what is called as a pranic body, which is supposed to be full of life force energy. It is called prana in Sanskrit. In the Chinese language they call it chi energy, they say. The Japanese language they call it ki energy. It's all one and the same. So when your pranic body is filled with a lot of pran shakti, then you are very energetic. So Yuktaka at the pranic level means he is filled with so much of pran shakti, life force energy. So you will have to pick up those kinds of things which have a lot of pran shakti, or the kinds of food which you eat, the water which you drink, everything, has a prana. In the scriptures, they use for example, water is called jala. Jala is the element. Jala means water. But the prana behind that element of water is what they call as Varuna. Varuna means the god of water. God means the Shakti, the energy behind the water. Similarly, you have Surya Prana. Surya Prana means the Pran Shakti which you get from the sun. Every aspect of this universe has this Pran Shakti. But you should know how to tap that. In the advanced courses, that is what I'm teaching first. Soon, in the future, we will have this course on the pranic level. That will be again divided into two aspects. One is the prana vayu sharira and other is the chakras. That we'll see. But even the 22-day course which we had, the Yoga Sankirtana empowerments, all these things, the first thing that will happen is your pranic body will be filled with so much of prana. If you see a child is full of this pranic energy. That is why a child is always active. When your prana becomes less, your body is susceptible to various diseases. So how do you maximize your prana? Being Yuktaha means go on increasing your life force energy. How? The kinds of foods you eat. For example, non-veg. Why do the yogis say avoid non-veg? because non-vegetarian food has nutrition, but it does not have pran shakti. In the 22-day course, I've covered this in detail, how to maximize the prana from the foods which you eat, from the water which you drink, what kind of breathing will increase your prana, the deep breathing, 2-3 different types of breathing which I have taught. You should practice that. Then how from sleep you can actually increase your pran shakti. Then the fire element. All that I have given. So you practice all that. Now that course is available online with the empowerment. Make use of that. But whether you're watching it for the second time or the first time, it's all, every time you watch it, it's like watching it for the first time. See, I'm using the word watching it. You're actually doing the sadhana, you're receiving the empowerment. A sadhak has sent a mail saying that he attended the 22-day program in December. Now when it was available online, he has again registered for that and he's doing it. He says it's like doing the course for the first time. The whole thing is new and the effect is much, much more than what he experienced in December. That's because the consciousness has grown further. So your receptivity is much more. Why am I having even these Yoga Sankirtana empowerment programs every year? I'm going on increasing the energy as your receptivity is increasing. So when you eat the wrong type of foods, more processed foods, all those have less pran shakti. In one of the chapters later on, he divides foods into sattvic food, rajasic food, tamasic food, everything he divides, So when you pick up sattvic things in life, that fills you with so much of prana. When you pick up tamasic things in life, that actually reduces your prana. Rajas is 50-50. Little bit of prana it can give you, but it also depletes your prana here and there. So you actually don't gain much. See, if you go out into nature, if you just take a walk, don't tell me I'm living in a flat. You just go to the terrace and you take a walk every day. That early morning sun, as the sun rises, there is so much of pran shakti which you will absorb. When you walk very mindfully, meditatively, with full awareness when you walk, that builds your pran shakti. So the practice of this dimension of Yuktaka is in picking up sattvic things in life, whether it is food or whether it is anything which you're picking up. Always pick up that which will energize you. Even the programs which you're watching on TV, the movies which you're watching, the news which you're hearing, they can either bring down your pran shakti or increase your pran shakti. Now you'll have to be your own judge. As Shakespeare says, let your own discretion be your tutor. Means your own discretion should guide you. See, a guru gives you the principle. Now you will have to apply it. So all the time, if you are watching those kinds of programs or you're reading those kinds of messages which are depleting your energy, now how do you expect your life to be full of zest, and how do you expect yourself to be very dynamic. It is not possible. So, at the pranic level, being filled with prana. So, when you wake up early in the morning, there is more prana shakti which you will absorb. Early morning time, when you wake up, you'll have to build the habit only after that, but when you wake up, you'll feel so meditative and contemplative. Your breathing also will not be fast, it will be deep and slow, naturally itself. You observe. But as I said, you will have to give yourself a little bit of time to get into the habit. But once you get into the habit, automatically you will start waking up. And if you observe yourself, you will not feel like immediately jumping or doing some activity. It's very, very conducive for meditation, for the higher sadhana. And you observe your breathing. Your breathing will be slow and deep, which means you're absorbing a lot of prana. See, whenever your mind is disturbed, you observe your breathing. You will be breathing very fast. Whenever you're angry, whenever you're sorrowful, whatever be that negative emotion, immediately you observe your breathing. You will find that your breathing will be fast and shallow, which means that emotion is reducing your prana shakti. Whenever you are inspired by something, whenever you feel positive, observe your breathing. Your breathing will be deep and slow. I'm not talking of excitement, I'm talking of a calm happiness. Even in the Sunday discourses, right now, if you observe your breathing, it will be very balanced. The moment we start with the chanting of Om, what are we trying to do? I'm invoking, no doubt, the higher healing Shakti, but the first thing is increasing your Prana Shakti through your breath. That is why I say gently close your eyes and do deep breathing. So when you're attuned to the Master, the moment he says breathe deeply, your breathing will start becoming deep and your pranic body will be filled with tremendous prana. So whenever your prana reduces, you will start feeling tired. You will start losing your focus. You will start losing your productivity. The efficiency in action will reduce. So that is why keeping yourself filled with Prana Shakti is very, very important. So every now and then, whenever you get some spare time, just practice that deep breathing. And those of you who have attended the 22-day course, I taught you this full body breathing, so that also you can practice. And do it with full awareness and fill yourself with the Prana Shakti. It's not only applicable for those who are active, like in the field of sports and all that. Your normal day-to-day activities, the more Prana Shakti you have, the more powerful you will be, the more active you will be, the more productive you will be. Okay, so today I have given you 2 more dimensions of Yuktaka. So reflect on these. So we have totally seen 4 dimensions of Yuktaka. First is the spiritual level, being united with the infinite. Then at the intellectual level, arrangement of thoughts, being orderly. Then at the mental level, being absorbed. That has 2 facets. One is being focused, other is intense emotions. Do things with a lot of passion and emotion. When you smile, don't smile with your lips. Smile with your heart. When you wish someone, wish sincerely from your heart. Some people, when they say good morning, they say it in such a way that, they say, good morning. It's become more of a routine, It shouldn't be like that. See, you observe a child. A child has child is full of emotions. Anything which the child says, there is emotions backing it. That is the power that gives you so much of power. And then at the pranic level, choose those kinds of things which energize you. Avoid things which bring down your energy. See, even when you talk negatively about someone, immediately observe yourself, your pranic energy would have come down. See, as you as you attend more and more of these empowerment sessions, you will become very, very energy sensitive. And as you become more energy sensitive, you will be able to easily see what is happening at the pranic level, whether your energies are coming down or going up. Whenever you do anything negative, you will find that your pran shakti actually reduces. So practice that sadhana. Pick up more sattvic things in life, sattvic habits. Sleep early in the night. Wake up early in the morning. That will refresh you. And after you wake up in the morning, have your bath and all that, and then sit for the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana. The moment the Yoga Sankirtan, you play that audio, immediately you will find that your breath will slow down. You will be filled with so much of pran shakti. Actually, how it has been designed is, first it will fill you with pran shakti, and then only with further higher energy, higher healing shakti. Even when we do the chanting of the verses, do it with that pran shakti. Absorb it. Don't chant in a mechanical way. Okay, so now we'll do meditation. Next week, I'll give you 2 more dimensions of Yuktaka, and then after that, we'll go into more depth, because as with every other verse, this verse also contains so many messages which can truly, truly transform your lives. What is the point in just rushing through all this? It's by God's grace that you are being exposed to this yogic approach, which has been practiced by many, many siddhas and yogis. So you're getting it right at your place, So make use of that. So now we'll do the meditation. Sit with your spine straight and gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. breathe in a deep way, but in a very, very relaxed manner. As you are inhaling, feel a lot of Pran Shakti, the life force energy entering you. And as you are exhaling, feel the Pran Shakti flowing through your pranic body. With every breath, you are being filled with a lot of Pran Shakti, the life force energy. Each and every cell of your body is being filled with the prana. Keep doing deep breathing. From this moment onwards, I choose to do each and every action with full focus, with full concentration. I choose to do everything with a lot of passion, with a lot of emotions, whether it is my speech, whether it is my work, anything which I do, my emotions back that action. I am one with that infinite supreme being. I am a Yuktaka, a united one. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. And cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, your cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. And very slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So today in the meditation, I had given you a small practice of taking in the Pran Shakti when you're breathing. So this is something which you can practice whenever you get some free time, as you're breathing in, don't feel that you're taking only the air that is at the physical level, but through your breath, feel that you're drawing in more Pran Shakti. It's a small yogic practice. This will prepare you so much for the higher sadhana. The Yoga Sankirtan Empowerment is coming in April. Now, this practice which I am telling you will help you so much in absorbing the higher Shakti which is going to be invoked during that empowerment program. So morning when you finish your kriyas and all that, just sit, and as you are breathing deeply, feel that you're drawing in more prana. At the physical level, you're drawing in the air, but through the air, actually, you can draw more and more of this cosmic life force energy. And the moment you do that, you will feel your whole body becoming so energized. Whenever you're tired, you can practice this. Just close your eyes and breathe very consciously and feel that you're drawing in that life force energy, that Pran Shakti. Within a few minutes, you will find that all the tiredness will go away. Practice this and see. Many people have asked a lot of questions about this Yoga Sankirtan empowerment. Somebody has asked, what is the meaning of empowerment? And some person has asked whether he will be receiving the healing Shakti. So all these questions I'll answer as we go along. But the main thing is for you to do your daily sadhana, and these small practices which I am giving you, keep doing that. That will prepare you immensely. And for those of you who have already registered, as I mentioned to you last week itself, I've started the healing process to prepare you for the 5-day program. So don't forget to write your goals, what you want to achieve in life. Because when you keep writing your goals every day, then when you come for the empowerment program, you will have that focus. So this energy, the higher Shakti which is being invoked, will flow in that direction, and you can materialize your goals. Okay. Thank you very much. We'll meet next week. Hari Om.